I don't know what's going to happen from this point on, but here's what I do know. We are taking a step into the right direction. Sometimes in this life, you got to take one step back to move 2 steps forward. I'm sorry. Okay. You knew this video was coming. You knew it was coming. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I also knew it was coming. The real question was, when will Matt Be Great be making this video? And let me clarify on that. I'm not talking about a certain time when this video is being uploaded today. I'm talking about we knew this video was going to happen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. I woke up this morning. I wasn't feeling too great like I normally am. I was a little groggy, a little slow, but hey, we have those days. Out of 365 days a year, you're not going to wake up feeling great on every single one of them. I started my morning just like I always do. Make me some coffee, take a hot shower, brush my teeth, and then, out of nowhere, my phone started blowing up. By the way, shout out to all of you guys for tagging me in this. The announcement happened that Bill O'Brien is leaving Alabama to take the OC job for the Patriots. Whoa. Hold on. I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, if you knew this was going to happen, why are you even talking about it? Why are we making a video? Well, my friend, that's a great question. And my granddad always told me this. You don't count your chickens till your eggs hatch. So with that being said, even though I knew this was going to happen, even though maybe you guys from watching the videos, you could infer this was going to happen, it still doesn't officially hit the same until that official announcement happens. To go along with that, what if I also told you guys, hey, I'm all for firing Bill O'Brien. I'm all for firing Pete Golden. That's cool. The hard part about firing a head coach isn't firing them. You can do that in a split second. The hardest part about it, and people fail to realize this, is you got to find somebody to replace them, and somebody good. Say what you want about Pete Golden and say what you want about Bill O'Brien. I think Pete Golden is a good defensive coordinator, and I think Bill O'Brien is a good offensive coordinator. The problem is at Alabama, we can't settle for good, at least right now with Nick Saban being there in his legendary career. We got to have great and elite. We're going to talk all about it in today's video. We got one topic and one topic only. You know how it goes. If you like college football content, consider joining our amazing community. By the way, shout out to everybody that's been subscribed. I can't thank you guys enough. And yeah, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, say it with me now. Let's get into it. The breaking news came out early this morning that Bill O'Brien will be reuniting with the Patriots. Congratulations to him and good luck, New England. The weirdest part about all of this, and I'm going to talk about this for my NFL fans for just a second, is Bill O'Brien is respected by not only the Patriots and Bill Belichick, but by a lot of people in the NFL. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of people that don't like the guy, especially Houston Texans fans. I understand that. I still can't believe he traded DeAndre Hopkins, but there is a fair share of people that do like him. And I can understand it because when he was with the Patriots, he was relatively successful and doing a good job. And I got a weird feeling about this, but I think Bill O'Brien is going to do a really great job with Mac Jones. And by the way, if I'm Mac Jones, I am ecstatic about this because Bill O'Brien, he knows what he's talking about when he's drawing up plays for a quarterback. As far as it goes for the run game, not so much. Bill O'Brien's not your typical run the ball every now and then guy. If Bill O'Brien could throw the ball 100 times a game, I think he would do so. That was the problem, though, with Bill O'Brien at Alabama. He was coaching, or my bad, he was calling plays like he was in the NFL, but it's a different game at the college level. In the NFL, yes, passing first league, you're going to pass the ball 5 times and run the ball once. That's probably a little bit too high. I would say it's more so of you're going to pass the ball 3 times, run the ball once. But at the college level, it's more so of pass the ball 3 times, run the ball 2 times. But Bill O'Brien had that NFL mentality at Alabama, and I can't blame him because he had the best quarterback in the country in Bryce Young. So when you have a guy like Bryce Young, yeah, passing the ball, you can't go wrong with that option. I do think at times, though, he did get a little bit carried away. I get it, Bama fans. I've been playing devil's advocate here the entire season. Out of every Bama fan out there, I've been the one to take up for Bill O'Brien. I don't want to sound like a broken record player, but yet again, I will say this till the day I die. Bill O'Brien, he did a good job at Alabama. He did a good job, and any Bama fan that tries to tell you differently, they don't know what they're talking about. They probably never played a sport in their life. Bill O'Brien was not the reason we lost games this year. He wasn't the problem at Alabama. The problem was the defense and the defensive coordinator. You can take that to the bank. I don't care what anybody says about it. And by the way, you could argue and say that Bill O'Brien overachieved last season, not this current season, but last season when Alabama even made it to the championship. I see that a lot of people tend to forget that Bill O'Brien diced up one of the best defenses in probably college football's history in Georgia. They had 5 first-round picks. Bill O'Brien diced them up with one wide receiver in Jameson Williams. That's it. Bill O'Brien had a great quarterback and one great wide receiver, and he diced them up in the SEC championship game. But nobody likes to talk about that. Me, I'm a man where I'm going to give credit where it's due. Yes, I'm going to criticize you as much as anybody else, but I'm also going to give you the respect when it's earned. So with all that being said, if I am a Patriots fan, I'm sure we got some New England fans here. Let me know in the comment section. I'd be excited about this. I really would be. I expect Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones to get along just fine, and I think it's a great fit. Moving back down here to the college football level, here's where things get interesting for Bama fans. What do you do now? Alabama currently doesn't have a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, and here's the part about this that really should concern you. There's no leads. There's no guys that you're pointing at and going, okay, we need to hire him tomorrow at any position, defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. And to be honest, as a Bama fan myself, the only guy I really want at the offensive coordinator position is Dan Mullen, and I don't think we're going to get him. I don't think Dan Mullen is going to go back and be an offensive coordinator. I think if he takes a job anywhere, it's going to be as a head coach. I think he's got a little bit too much pride to be an offensive coordinator for Nick Saban, but hey, I could be wrong on that. I hope I'm wrong on that. For Alabama and Nick Saban, this is just the beginning to it. We're just now tearing down the house. We're not even rebuilding it. We just tore it down. Now we're like, okay, we got to go to the store and get some plywood and materials. Because now, not only is Nick Saban recruiting kids, he's having to recruit an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And when you look at the playing field, there's no great coaches on the board. If you want me to be totally 100% honest with all of you, I'm not too worried about the offensive coordinator. I'm really not. I think Alabama is so talented at every position. It doesn't matter who you hire. They're going to score 35, 40 points a game. Doesn't matter who plays quarterback. Doesn't matter who's at wide receiver, offensive line. Wherever, doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is, Alabama will score 35 points a game. Will they struggle at times with a new quarterback? Yes, but who doesn't go through some drought spells here and there? The part that I'm concerned with, I've been concerned with as a Bama fan for the past 2 years. I've said it time after time after time, and I know a lot of you, you're new to the channel, you just joined in this recent year. Thank you for this, but I've been saying that, or thank you for that, my bad, but I've been saying this for 2 years straight. The defense is holding Alabama back. The defense is the reason we lost to Texas A&M to their backup quarterback. It wasn't the offense. Remember, Bryce Young had one of the best games I've ever seen him play at Texas A&M. It's unfortunate he lost. The problem in Alabama has been the defense. We've got to fix it. It was a proven fact in 2021 and again this year in 2022. Our offense is not the problem. The defense is the reason we've lost most of our games. The only one you could point to and say, hey, the offense struggled and that cost us was the Georgia game in the national championship. But still, at the end of the day, Alabama had a lead in the second half and our defense could not get a stop. If Alabama wants to get back to winning national championships, not just compete, but winning national championships and winning games in the playoff, the defense has got to improve. I'll be the first to tell you, it's an offensive league now, but I don't care. Defense still wins championships because defense travels. You cannot bank, and let me repeat this, you cannot bank on your offense having a great game every single game. You just can't do it. You cannot bank on your offense playing good/great for 15 games a year. Every single team that has won a national title has that 1 or 2 games a year where it's close and your offense is struggling and your defense has to step up. And when I say step up, that doesn't necessarily mean the defense has to play out of their mind, but they got to make some plays. For example, 2 teams that come to my mind is 2019 LSU and 2020 Bama. The 2019 LSU team didn't have a great defense, but here's the thing. They would bend, but they would never break. They would give up these big-time plays, but in the red zone, 2019 LSU, they were good. They got a couple of stops here and there. They would get a couple fumbles, a couple interceptions. Bama this year, it felt like we didn't get any turnovers. And I think at one point in time, we was one of the lowest ranked teams in the SEC in forcing turnovers. Same thing with the 2020 Alabama team. There wasn't many close games, but when we needed a stop, when we needed an interception fumble, we would get it. Fast forward in time to 2021 Bama and 2022 Bama, we didn't have that. At Texas A&M in 2021, our defense couldn't get a single stop against a backup quarterback that goes by the name of Zach Calzada. Zach Calzada, he played the game of his life, but after that game, he was pitiful. I'm not going to say Zach Calzada is a pitiful quarterback, but I think it's a combination of Alabama's defense was terrible and he had a good game. The point is, we couldn't get a stop. Fast forward in time to 2022, the year that just happened, against Tennessee, and I don't even want to talk about it too much because I would just love to throw that game away and never think about it again, but I know I'm going to have to talk about it for the years to come. We lost 52-49. The offense scored nearly on every single possession, and we lost the game. And most Bama fans are going to say, well, Matt, that's Bill O'Brien's fault. And I've already explained this where people are going to bring up where we should have ran down the clock and then kicked the field goal. But still, that just puts us in overtime. I get what you're saying, but let me offer you this. You got to look at it from 2 different perspectives. Bill O'Brien wasn't just okay with running down the clock and kicking a 50-yard field goal. Why? Because of what happened, we probably was going to miss. That's what Alabama kickers do. It's not Bill O'Brien's fault that he drew up a great play for Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield on an HB angle route, and Jahmyr Gibbs dropped the pass. Yeah, it was kind of low, but if he would have caught it, he would have walked into the end zone. My point is, Alabama fans, they never can just be like, hey, we just lost the game. They always got to point the finger at somebody. At the end of the game, when it came down to it, Tennessee made plays, and Alabama did not, and that's why we lost. Here's the last thing I'm going to say about that Tennessee game. If Bill O'Brien would have just ran the ball 3 straight times and then kicked the field goal and we would have went to overtime, well, then Bama fans would have been saying, well, dang, why didn't Bill O'Brien try to get a little bit closer? Why didn't he actually try to score a touchdown? You see what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose situation. Everybody's just going to blame Bill O'Brien. Getting back on track here, my point is we couldn't get a stop. And then shortly after, only 2 weeks after, our defense gives up 32 points to LSU. Yeah, it did go in overtime, but 32 points to an LSU team that's not that good, it's unacceptable. We could not get a stop. Yet again, we had a lead in the fourth quarter. Defense couldn't get a stop. Defense is a problem. I'm never concerned with Alabama's offense because I know they'll put it together. And another reason I pride myself more into the defense and I take the defensive side of the ball more seriously is because defense travels. It's just simply more important, and it's especially more important in this day and age when defense is kind of irrelevant. Let me put it this way. It doesn't matter how great the offense is. If you can't stop anybody, you're going to get upset a couple times a season. Same thing we saw at Oklahoma the past few years when Lincoln Riley was there, when they had Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts. Yeah, they were scoring 50 points a game, but they was giving up 55 points a game. The most underrated part about college football at this given moment is defense. I know it's not fun to talk about because we want to talk about the new 5-star quarterback, the new 4-star running back, the new wide receiver weapons, offensive line. But I'm telling you, the defense is the most important. Trust me, I love talking about the offensive side of the ball, but defense matters more. So in my humble opinion, yes, of course, we need a new, we don't have a choice, we need a new and good offensive coordinator, but more importantly, we need a new and a good defensive coordinator. My opinion on it hasn't really changed too much. I would love to have Jeremy Pruitt, but for some reason, it just kind of feels like Nick Saban's not too big of a fan of that. And really, there's no other leads to talk about. Nobody knows what Nick Saban's going to do. That's the thing with Nick Saban when it comes to defense and offensive coordinators. The media, me, you, and everybody, we're thinking he's going to hire this great name and good hire from this big name brand school, but then Nick Saban, he'll shock everybody and hire a no name from Chattanooga State Water Aquarium Community College that nobody's heard of. Nick Saban will hire a guy that just went 2-10 at his new head coaching job, and he'll turn that guy into a great head coach one day. That's just how it goes. Nick Saban currently operates the best rehab clinic in the world. I don't know what's going to happen from this point on, but here's what I do know. We are taking a step into the right direction. Sometimes in this life, you got to take 1 step back to move 2 steps forward. That's what we're currently doing at Alabama. We was not going to get anywhere with Pete Golden and Bill O'Brien at the coordinator positions. I'm happy about this move. Let me know your thoughts down below. But